Welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 40. I'm back, and this is an interesting episode of picks I have this week, because I am kind of bewildered by some of them. So we're going to start out with an old favorite of mine, and I mean that in the most sarcastic form of the phrase, and that would be Tom King's Batman, number 78. First thing I will say before I get into the mess that it is, Mann's art is very good. Now let's get into everything else. So this issue is a Batman and Catwoman-centric issue of them finding themselves and into each other's arms again. We get a ton of that fantastic dialogue of bat, cat, cat, bat, bat, cat. Yes, it's fucking horrible. We start out with them canoeing, and they are in Hawaii. Batman, as Bruce Wayne, is dressed like Magnum fucking P.I., Tom Selleck. He's got the porn stash and everything. He's in his Matches Malone identity, but he looks like Tom Selleck as Magnum P.I. I don't know if that was done on purpose. Him and Catwoman are hanging out on the beach. They're having drinks. She's having drinks. He's having ginger ale. And they're talking out their relationship on the beach. And then they're climbing a mountain in their costumes. And there's some dialogue back and forth. This is basically like a couples therapy session issue. Again, the Bat-Cat dialogue is just horrendous. They have their makeout session on the beach, and boy, the last page is where the dialogue really comes together. I didn't come back for this. It's settled. It is. It's settled. I left. You left. It's settled. Cat. Yes, Bat. I don't think it's settled. Oh, you poor rich boy. You have no idea what you're getting into. And then they kiss. Fucking horrendous dialogue. I love that there's another City of Bane issue that there has been very little Bane except for a neck crack. This should be called the City of Wayne because Thomas Wayne seems to be pulling the strings. I really want to shit all over this issue, but Clayman's art is pretty fucking great, especially after the inconsistency of Tony Daniel's art in the last issue or two. But again, just horrific writing, horrific dialogue. I'm going to give it a 5.5, and I mainly give that because of Clayman's art. Appreciate you, Clay. The rest, not so much. So that was probably the shortest, less diatribe, ranty issue or review I can do. I can't wait for Tom King's run to be over so Batman can get his balls back out of Catwoman's purse. Yeah, I said it. He's basically a cuck at this point. Anyway, let's move on to another DC title, one that I was waiting on, and that would be Event Leviathan number 4. This follows up right after issue 3, where Amanda Waller and Superman were getting ready to face Leviathan. And we jump right into the Batman and his detectives talking to Superman about what the hell just happened. He basically ran away from Leviathan. Him and Waller were facing down Leviathan. Leviathan, basically, he's trying to use all his different visions, and it kept pushing back against him. And he ended up saying, I need Batman, Lois. And he ran back, and then Damian and some of the others start kind of counter-grilling Manhunter, Kate Spencer, and kind of figuring, was she set up? Is there something more going on? Is she Leviathan? Kind of in the same way Steve Trevor was kind of set up to look like he was Leviathan. And Batman, Superman, Lois, they kind of have a one-on-one meeting, kick everybody out of the room. Lois ends up stealing his keys and taking one of his cars. Silencer is in the trees, waiting to assassinate. Not really sure who she's working for. Just that Lois Lane just left his house. And Bruce Wayne's house. That's weird. And then Superman just left his house. And basically Lois has gone to meet up with some people, and Batgirl sends a signal and saying that she took Leviathan's offer to join, and Superman's trying to track where her signal's coming from. It kind of feels like Batgirl's setting them up, and Superman kind of hits a weird, like, electronic wall. There's this big shimmering effect. I don't really know what it is, but it's him and Plastic Man. Batgirl's signal goes dead, and Lois Lane pulls in and meets her counter group of detectives she's hired. And it is the female Question, Zatanna, Harvey Bullock, Deathstroke, what looks to be Elongated Man, and I'm not sure if it is John Constantine. It ends with her saying, "You're not going to like what we found, Miss Lane." I'm not sure really what that leads to. Maybe it's Sam Lane, and it's been one of the greatest tricks pulled. Or it could be her sister that had disappeared. Not really sure. I kind of like that Lois kind of decided to have her own group of outsiders not really related to the other heroes that Batman has pulled together. I was a little disappointed because I was hoping a little bit more would get revealed. Kind of kept on the same cadence and pace as the last issue with the misdirections of who it is, who it isn't. I'm still into the story. I'm probably about a 6.5 out of 10 on this. I thought it could have been better. I did like parts of it. I didn't think Maleev's art really looked as crisp as I would have liked it in the way it was conveying the storytelling. I was hoping for a little bit more. Maybe it's going to be the next issue. I mean, it has to be. There's only 2 issues left, so they have to do the reveal. I'm a buy on this. I'm already pot committed, to be honest, but I think it's still good enough to buy. Even if I was trade waiting, I'd definitely be buying the trade. Bendis has been weirdly hit and miss. There's some stuff that I feel like he's firing on all cylinders, and then this one started really well, and now it's kind of hitting a stutter. And I don't know if the stutter is just because we're getting to the big reveal. I was hoping for a little bit more, though. And from there, we're going to go to a book that I've kind of forgot a lot of what happened in the book, and that would be Trees, Three Fates by Warren Ellis and Jason Howard. It starts out with an 11-year flashback in Russia with the character Kiara. Her boyfriend Sasha is running out of the house, and they're having an argument. And as they're arguing, she's throwing his shit out into the yard. And he's walking away, and one of the giant trees falls on him. The trees are these giant towers. They call them trees, though. And he is crushed, and then it jumps to the 11 years ahead to how it would be today. And there's a gentleman knocking on her door, telling her they need her, and they found a body. And by the trees, there's a body there. There's blood on the tree. There's a knife in the guy's chest. And it becomes somewhat of a murder mystery. they bring out one of their police drones to kind of, they call it Boris the Bold, and it starts investigating the area. And there's kind of a, Kiara goes to ask around, and it's got a little bit of a Fargo kind of vibe to it. I have to really go back and kind of reread the last Trees issues that came out. I'm kind of really hard to remember because I want to say it's been almost 2.5 years since the last one came out. It's just enough to get you involved and back into the world. I'm gonna go at a 6 on this. And again, a lot of it's just because I like trying to remember what was going on before. Even though the story is kind of a standalone, there's still a little bit of history that with the Trees that I kind of don't remember. Yeah, so those are my reviews. I had kind of running fast today. I was behind. But these were 3 that I picked ahead of time that I really wanted to kind of get into a little bit. So with that being said, I want to thank you for giving a watch. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and happy hunting this Wednesday. As far as speculation-wise, there wasn't a whole lot that I was really looking at that really caught my eye. So take care, everybody. See you next Wednesday.